Hello, June 17th, day 6. So getting to this point where um, I'm like starting to pause and forget what the point of doing this is. So I got this all started a couple days ago because I saw a TikTok that was like, you should record yourself for the next 90 days because big things are going to happen. And I was really feeling that at that time. So then I jumped in and I started making these videos to document for myself. So for 2 days there, I was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. In the back of my mind, thinking I'd like to maybe share it out at some point, but not knowing what this content was and all of this. So then I was like, whatever, I'll just do it. And then as I got into it, I started like editing the videos and like watching them back and thinking like, oh, maybe it would be nice to share because I wanted to share with some people that I knew, some of my friends, um, because I think that I don't know, like maybe it'd be nice to share this type of thing. Like, would people want to know this about me and what I'm building? And I would hope so because that's kind of the point of building something like this is to share it out with people. So then I started getting into the space of like overthinking what I was doing. And the last couple of days, I guess like the funk that I was feeling like I didn't know what I was doing again. Kind of like moving into that space of like formlessness, which is like I initially started off, and it was a quick cycle, right? Like less than a week even, of thinking that I'm going to do this and document the next 90 days for myself, and then kind of like losing track of that plot really quickly, and then thinking about like, oh, like how am I going to show up here for other people? Like, would anybody want to watch this? Am I like delivering valuable information? I think the last 2 nights or the last 2 days, if I think back, sometimes I was just sitting there like in thought or just like letting things pass through. So then like even thinking about today, I was like, okay, like what can I do with this to make the most of my time? Because I think I would love for there to be some benefits. So I think this is like, an opportunity for me to talk about some of the things that I'm working on. Some of the things that I'm working on and get some of those ideas out there. Like Haizhen, what the heck is it? I made it up. Body field, what the heck is it? I made it up. Human design is something. I didn't make that up. Um, and at the same time, like not a lot of people know about it. Same with like hypnosis. Like, what is it? Um, it's funny that even in the hypnosis circles, defining hypnosis sometimes is contentious. It's different things to different people, and basically, hypnosis is what you think it is, whatever that means. Um, so then, like, maybe this is an opportunity to talk about some of those things. And maybe I'm wrong, like that people do know what these things are. Maybe this will find a crowd that understands human design. Um, eh, but maybe not in the same way that I do. And hopefully that's where I can add value. Hopefully this will find people that understand what hypnosis is, but not in the same way that I do. Maybe there are people out there who have been feeling something for a long time and don't know what it is, and hopefully like this kind of thing will spark something in them to think like, oh, like maybe there is hope for me, because there is hope, because there's always a next step. So I was thinking about like how to best use my time. So I made some notes for today about like topics of like what to do, and maybe that will kind of like help me to organize my thoughts, and maybe some will be off the cuff as well. So I was thinking about that, like thinking about what to do, maybe like doing a rough outline of notes of topics that I might want to cover, because that would just even help, because sometimes like just turning on this thing, it's like, what do I talk about? I have no idea. um, Reflecting back is probably a good thing, which I think I've already done. I probably just started off the video that way. um, just thinking back about the last couple days even, and how all of this has changed in that short amount of time. The other thing that I want to do with this time is also hydrate. So I have my cup here. probably don't drink enough water. So if you're not either, throw on this video, have a glass of water with me. Cheers. So thinking about like putting some bounds on this thing, putting like a little bit of structure to it, it reminded me of this book that I have, because it's in my hand right now. I'll tease the book. This book that I have called Limit Yourself, Unleash Your Creativity. And I thought it was really interesting because I was a huge fan of Bruce Lee growing up. I probably watched Return of the Dragon like no less than 200 times. And one of the things that he talks about is like be formless, be shapeless like water, kind of using no limits as your limit, which is like a wonderful idea. It's like, okay, I got no limits. That's what I'll use. But then practically speaking, using no limits as a limit can be also kind of like standing in like just standing in a place and just not knowing where to go, being directionless. So this book I thought was really interesting. I came across it in the Art Gallery of Ontario, the AGO, and it says, like, basically it's talking about how when you put limitations on things, you put bounds around things, and things become like it kind of enhances your creativity because now you have a field to play in, so that it's not like being frozen by limitless potential, but in the bounds of like what you're playing with, you can go as far as you want, and within those bounds, maybe not to limit yourself. So because this book was about art, it's talking about maybe different mediums and different types of materials that you have, stuff like that. And for me here, it's like, what are the limits? Like, one of the things that I struggled with a lot over the last number of years was like really the platform to go. Like way back when all of this started, when I had my first human design business reading, the suggestion was to go with YouTube because it's a great platform for putting out information with a one line like myself. Having that depth of information to share, it would probably be something that was really good to do. And at the time, it didn't feel like the right thing because like I wasn't in a place of wanting to structure what I was doing because I'm a little bit chaotic like that. If you haven't got that sense already. And having those, I just got a text message, so I lost my train of thought. But having that suggestion of going to YouTube first, it just, I think if I look back on it, it felt a little bit daunting. It felt like there were a lot of things to do, and I didn't really understand the platform because it was just a place to watch videos. And I wasn't really using it for that much search. I couldn't really see myself on it. And then also looking at like the videos of other people, like they have a certain look to them probably, at least the stuff that comes across my feed. So then there was also this pressure to like make something like other people. And that's fine. And at the same time, I guess I can just make my own thing, right? Like, what's it matter? Does it matter? Because like, who's even going to watch this anyways? Like, this is really reps for me. So then I'm taking this 90-day thing as a start of producing content that, you know, like even practically speaking, putting it into one place so that I myself can find it back again is really helpful because I don't know about you, but I've lost like, not lost, but it's like, you know, when you have that video and you're like, oh, remember that video? It was so great and I want to see it again. And then it's like, I can't remember where I put it. Like, is it in my photos? Is it on like some file sharing service? Is it on social media? Is it wherever? All the different places. Because there's so many different places these days. So all that is to say, like choosing where I wanted to show up was a bit of a journey. I kind of went through my first engagement with social media was probably with Facebook. And I remember because I had signed up for like a 3-day video challenge. And at that point, before signing up, I probably made like zero actual interesting. I hadn't used social media much for my personal life. And then I've also never used social media for self promotion, for getting a message out. So then I got into hypnosis. I found Laurie Hammond, who had a 3-day video challenge, or I think it was 3 days. Anyways, it was a video challenge, and the point was just to make videos and post them. And that's kind of where all of this started. So I started making videos on Facebook, and there was the ups and downs of like, okay, like I'm making videos now. Now who's gonna watch them? And then getting some engagement and really like thinking about and keeping a close eye on like how many people are watching them and why aren't more people watching them and blah blah blah, all of that stuff. And it was kind of formless and shapeless because I was just making content without any specific plan per se. And I wasn't really thinking about, like, I guess in marketing you would call them call to actions or like pointing people to other things. Because it felt too salesy. Like, not that it feels too salesy, but like as a bad thing, but like it just didn't feel right for me. And I think that the lack of feeling right was probably my own, what do you say it, like lack of belief in myself that like, hey, like people would actually want to learn more from me. I know that that's not true because I know that I have valuable things to share. I'm like, is this turning into a self-therapy session? I know that it's not true because I know I have valuable things to share and that things that I've shared have been helpful for people. What was really interesting was over the last while, especially while I've been in school, the number of people that have like approached me and said that they see the content that I put up and they thought that it was really interesting or they liked what I post. I thought that was really interesting. I had that experience like maybe once or twice before where like people who like I was writing blog posts and posting them and like not everybody comments or whatever, right? It turns out like through the grapevine I heard that like friends of friends would be reading what I wrote and that they liked it, and I was like, oh, like somebody sees me, but I don't see them seeing me. And is that still the same? It's kind of like, I guess I have to believe and trust that that's happening. And maybe that's my audience, the types of people that are kind of unseen themselves. Maybe they're afraid to show up for various reasons. And it's not that everybody needs to show up in this exact same way. I hope that there's this Hermetic principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as below, so above. And like sometimes the way that we show up in one space is how we show up in many different spaces. So all of that is to say, I hope that the people that, like my audience, the people that are seeing but not showing up in these particular spaces, I hope that there's a particular reason for it, that is principled and intentional. And then that you're able to show up in principled and intentional ways in the spaces that you want to show up in. And at the same time, if you're not able to, then that's kind of the place where we can connect. Like, do you want to do something like this? Do you want to help people? Do you have a message? Do you have like skills and abilities? Like, I would imagine that you do. Like, the person in my mind is like probably myself, like somebody around the same age, worked for about 10-15 years in various different kind of like commercial or corporate kind of settings. And kind of like got to a point where it's like, oh, like the next promotion doesn't really excite me, or the politics of the whole situation is kind of a bore. And then wanting to get outside of that and do something, like really connect with people. And like for me, I find like teaching and mentorship really exciting. And lo and behold, when I look up my design and in the incarnation cross, that piece that tells us what our purpose in this incarnation is, it's really to teach and take complex kind of ideas and make them digestible. And I think that I'm doing that here with the program that I'm putting together with Haizhen. I think that I'm doing that in my day-to-day work as well, taking the problem of healthcare and looking at how to make it more accessible and digestible for patients and for other healthcare providers. So with a one line, that's the line of like information. It's the investigator, so enjoying like that depth of knowledge. And sometimes the challenge of a one line is that you don't feel ready because you don't feel like you have enough information. And I've experienced that before, where it's like, oh, maybe I just need to learn one more thing, maybe review one more time, maybe get this one other thing in place before I can go ahead and show up in the way that I need to for this person or that person. And I eventually got over that because it was like just kind of getting ridiculous. It's like, I gotta get out there and start doing something. So then that I had this thought of like moving from formlessness to form is how like we observe things. Like before all of this started, like these logs, these Haizhen logs, before they started, it was just like a bunch of nebulous ideas in my head. What's up, Regan? There's a bunch of ideas in my head. And then like the more that I talk about it, and kind of like put it down on paper and write about it, and maybe make videos about it, the more real it becomes. And then even like making those things, like sharing them out into small places and like not having a big picture kind of thing, it's almost like it's still a little bit formless. It's like in some type of form, but it's still only shared with me. The thing that really starts to make it real is like putting it in front of other people. And then other people start to see it and then get an idea or a concept about it, and then an idea about it. And then hearing people take those ideas and start to like either integrate them or reflect them back to me in like ways that expand my own understanding of it, or kind of help me to clarify where there might be gaps. That was really interesting. And I think that that really solidifies things into form, which is not to say that nothing can change after that. It's just that it starts to become more real, like tangible. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, of like realizing that I want to put a little bit more structure into some of the things that I do. Might sound silly, might sound like, for some people it might be that like, oh, like you should have started there. And, you should never shit on people. So shame on you. So taking that formless thought, those ideas, and putting them into some type of form, and then sharing it out and showing it to other people, give it form. And once it has that form, then the question is what happens next, right? And I think that when a form is presented into other people and then they digest it and take it in, it almost becomes formless again in a sense, because there's that movement or that thing I talked about yesterday of like the levels of competency, where you start from unconscious incompetence, you don't know what's going on, through the stages all the way up to conscious competence or unconscious competence, which means you can do it without thinking. And when you can do something without thinking, then suddenly it's formless now. So like the intention of my program is really to help those people that are holding up their worlds, doing all the things for the people around them and forgetting to do it for themselves, putting themselves last. And flipping that whole order of things where now you begin to make decisions from you, from your alignment, from your authenticity, from your essence, by examining the inputs, the perceptions, and the experience that you receive in your body field, which is a combination of your senses, your mind, and all of the other kind of receptive ways that you can receive information, all wrapped up, and considering that in each moment you're having an experience of a field that you can then respond to. And how you respond to that field is through strategy and authority, through your human design. And when that whole process from start to finish of being able to take the feelings that you're experiencing, that you perceive through your body field, understanding the meaning that you're assigning to it, and then taking action through strategy and authority. When that becomes unconscious, then you've moved back into formlessness, where you no longer have to think about it. It just becomes, innate. It becomes unconscious. And the interesting thing there is, the more that you do that, the easier that it becomes. Then you start to just walk in every step with alignment, which is really nice. And I recently, as recent as, I think not even more than a year ago, started getting into astrology. And like every day I take a look in the CoStar astrology app to kind of like see what my daily astrology looks like. And the thing that I started noticing was like the more that I made decisions within alignment, the more that I also aligned with like greater, more universal or cosmic themes. Like, so basically it's like this thing that's saying like, based on the position of the planets in the sky, you are experiencing these themes. And like, it's not just like the newspaper horoscopes where it's just talking about like your main sign. It's like that system of astrology is much deeper than that, with like houses and sun sign, moon signs, rising signs, all of those things. So like, if you're not familiar with that and you don't have the full information, then don't sleep on it. Like, it's not to say that you have to go into it, but just park it, right? And if it ever comes up again, revisit it. I got into the astrology more because of human design, because astrology is a component of human design. Anyways, I feel like this could probably go off the rails really soon. But the idea there is moving through all of these, like that's what the point of this program is to help you, help anybody, but really to help you. If you've made it this far, then this program is definitely for you. For those of you that are feeling lost, feeling like there's something more, feeling like, you know, you've done as much as you can by yourself, and now you just don't know what to do. Like you're frozen by decisions. You don't know if you're making the right decision. This program that I'm putting together, the intention is to help you be able to make those decisions without stress, without burden, so to a point where you can trust your sensation. You can trust your feeling, meaning, action cascade that happens within you. And then also parallel, so the other part of that is once you have that piece in, that's kind of getting clearer, the clarity part of yourself, then to embody like yourself fully is to start to remove the crap that we carry. And that's looking at the conditioning that we pick up. And I'm not going to get too much into conditioning today because I'm going to go on for like another hour about it. But when you start to let go of and looking at conditioning, that's where the hypnosis comes in. That's where understanding like your context and reframing and knowing how you can move that around. And at some level, everything is vibration, which is like that another one of those hermetic principles, like everything vibrates. And if it vibrates, it has energy. So then if everything is energy, then we're all energy kind of idea. And if you can get on with that, then the idea is like how you best manage your energy. You can manage your energy through various ways. And one of the ways is hypnosis, I would say, because like when we're talking about communication and words and sound, like there are sound waves, those have frequencies and it has vibration and energy. So then the sound waves from me coming to you is a transfer of energy. It's how we make things manifest into the physical world. And it's also how we clean up the crap that we hold on inside. And a lot of that reframing is understanding, moving from a place of awareness where you realize what your problem is, and then getting to a point of letting go. And working on that important step in the middle that's often missed, which is accepting everything as it is. And that's kind of like everything that's kind of moving through right now. So thanks for being here, for moving through all of this, because I think this was helpful for me. And yeah, again, keep on going.